What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Eli the Don. Welcome back to another video, and today we got top 10 wrestlers whose promos got way too real. Now, I've seen a lot of situations to where two wrestlers be standing in the ring, all that animosity and all that built up frustration, all that grease and sweat and oil they put on themselves before the match and shit, all that. They get real personal, get real dirty in the ring, and you got the chants and all these different emotions flying around arenas and shit like that. People saying mean stuff about you. You take that shit get to your head. You already got a big ego as it is because you probably the Intercontinental Universal Champion of all time, and you're just sitting there like, man, I'm pissed off. I got this champion and I'm the fucking best, but they don't believe I'm the best. Then you got a motherfucker standing right across from you, not making shit no better. He talking shit. He's saying mean stuff about your mother. Next thing you know, you say mean stuff about him that wasn't supposed to be in the script. And people in the back looking like, what the fuck? What does he mean by that? Why would he say that on national television? Next thing you know, you walk in the back, Vince McMahon grabs you by the throat and tells you, you went too far, son. You're fired. But anyway, guys, yeah, I fucked up on that one. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
1, 2, is this on?
I'm still here because you can't do your job.
Wrestling has the ability to blend talent's real lives into its storylines like no other form of scripted entertainment.
I want to be the catalyst for that change.
Save me. Really what you mean is you will only accept change if it means CM Punk is on top.
You gonna punch me in the face? Or do you gotta go ask your wife permission first?
Today we're going to explore how the sport does this by highlighting those who frequently bring up real-life dramas in promos.
The only reason you were WWE champion for a year is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesday.
As we cover the top 10 pipe bomb promo cutters in wrestling. Number 10, Samoa Joe. Joe has often been as savage cutting promos as he has been in the ring, especially when his ammo on the mic is loaded with reality. Like when Joe shot on Scott Hall for no showing a pay-per-view in TNA.
Scott Hall, Chico, kiss my ass. You punked out and you're a punk.
Joe also took aim at Kevin Nash, which later led to a physical confrontation backstage.
TNA is the men who come in here, risk their lives on scaffoldings, on wires, while others show up and pad their pensions.
I said, was that from Russo or was that yours? Smirked at me, he said, that was mine. So I fucking open hand smacked him. And he just fucking looked at me. So I smacked him again.
Some of Joe's best
Damn.
mic work in WWE came during his feud with Jeff Hardy, where the Samoan submission machine mocked Hardy's past addiction issues.
Because for as many times as this man has made you get up out of your seat, there are just as many times, Jeff, that you let all these people down. Well, it can be really rough this time of year. And we both know, Jeff, that eventually your demons, Jeff, they're going to come running right back and they're going to start controlling you. How's it going, Jeff? Trust that you and the family enjoyed the holidays. It's always nice to create new memories, perhaps even make up for some of the ones that you've destroyed. You can choose to have 14 of these and wake up in jail.
Damn.
That is, if you're fortunate enough to wake up at all.
Keep on talking.
Damn. Love him or hate him, but Samoa Joe was smooth as hell on the mic, bro. Fucking underrated, nigga. Come on, underrated.
Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group?
Number 9, Jim Cornette. Cornette made a career out of talking fans into the building. We've also seen him take personal issues as well as his own real-life opinions and express them on television.
Just a couple of years ago, I left my home in Tennessee and I moved to Connecticut, which is like trading a Hawaiian vacation for a bed in a cancer ward. Will Jim Cornette come back to the ECW arena? I'd rather go skinny dipping in a septic tank of a slaughterhouse and come back to that.
His famous shoot promos
Damn.
on Raw in 1997 were living proof.
6, 1, 2, 3 kid. His name's Sean Waltman, whatever you want to call him. As far as I'm concerned, the only reason that he's employed is because the other guys think that he's funny when he gets drunk and throws up on himself.
They were in keeping with the WWF's shift towards a more realistic product at the time, and they occurred just weeks before the official start of the Attitude Era.
Wrestling fans watching a wrestling program want to see wrestlers wrestle. That's easy. It's not too hard to understand.
Cornette spat bullets, taking aim at WCW.
So they sit around all day listening to people on the internet, and the people on the internet.
Hey, yo, Cap, I've never heard him talk. Well, I have heard him talk, but I didn't know he can talk like this. This man keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. This man doesn't need a script.
wouldn't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch.
The NWO.
Damn.
As far as I'm concerned, the NWO was like a bunch of guys meeting out in the backyard in a clubhouse in a tree. And on a personal note to Hulk Hogan, you are a household word, but so is garbage. And it stinks when it gets old, too.
Roddy Piper.
Damn.
By the 10-minute mark, they were sucking wind so bad, the first 3 rows passed out of oxygen deprivation. Would have been funny if it wasn't so sad.
Shawn Michaels.
God damn.
Well, Shawn Michaels is still the single most talented athlete in wrestling today inside the ring. But outside, he's an adolescent, obnoxious jerk who takes his tights and goes home if he doesn't get his way.
And sports columnist Phil Mushnick, who regularly badmouthed wrestling.
I say go to hell, Phil Mushnick, and try to reform things down there. Because we're doing just fine up here without you.
Jim was even taking jabs at Vince Russo all the way then, as Jim referred to Vince as a Yankee.
Phony teeth, phony hair, and a phony tan. And running the WWF, you got a whole office building full of Yankees from New York City that wouldn't know a wrestling match if it bit them.
Threatening to kill me, threatening to kill my entire family.
Bart Gunn's gonna be a star now. I said, I want to kill you. I would like to just squeeze you until your britches are full and your eyeballs pop out.
Number 8, Steve Austin.
Damn, even at that age, he's good. What can this man do? What can this man?
The foundations of the Stone Cold character were established in ECW at the end of 1995.
Having the Sandman and spitting beer in his face.
Here, Austin was finally given free rein to speak his mind.
I've been crapped on for 4 years. I believe I deserve a break. I didn't get to climb a ladder to the top in WCW like this.
He took aim at the politics in WCW that held him down.
The politics in WCW kept the biggest potential superstar in wrestling on the goddamn ground.
The bookers who kept him in the mid-card.
Yeah, take me back to WCW. Let me be a mid-card wrestler. Let me just scramble around. Let me get no dues. Don't give me nothing. Treat me like a piece of garbage. Feed me garbage.
The older wrestlers hogging the spotlight.
I was never allowed to reach past mid-card status in the WCW, brother.
And worst of all, Eric Bischoff, who had fired an injured Austin by FedEx.
The circumstances dictated that I had to let him go. I didn't have any choice. He hadn't found that mark yet.
A FedEx copy of your termination notice is on its way to your home in Texas.
My world-famous impression of the biggest piece of trash I ever laid my eyes on. Brent couldn't be here, so I had my secretary leave a message on his answer machine, and when he calls me, I'm gonna fire him on the phone just like I did Austin.
Number 7.
Bro, Stone Cold Steve Austin has a lot of charisma. A lot of charisma. God damn, that's a lot of charisma. Shit.
Triple H. Some of Triple H's best work is when he blurs the lines between a work and a shoot, such as his original The Game promo, where he spoke about being punished for his role in the curtain call.
Madison Square Garden, I walked to the ring to say goodbye to my friends. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels. Who got punished for that, JR? Me.
As Triple H became more of a main event player, it meant more freedom to say what he wanted in his promos.
If it wasn't for me, you'd be nothing. You got that? I made you. You know well I can break you. Why don't you run along into the back and hang out with the other curtain jerkers while the main event guys stay in here and handle our business?
By the time he got into power as the Authority, his promos were even more ruthless.
I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you never drew a dime, buddy. Guys like Jericho, Edge, Rob Van Dam. If any of those guys had been the face of the WWE, we'd all be working for Ted Turner right now. Without the WWE, your pipe bomb and you really mean nothing.
And regardless if you legit believe the things he said,
Why, if you're a millionaire, you're evil. If you're a billionaire, you're the Antichrist. I would rather eat well than sleep well.
it played into the online discourse that Hunter held others down so he could stay on top.
At WrestleMania, I put an end to your dreams and I bury Daniel Bryan. I'm gonna tweet my displeasure. And if that doesn't work, me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop watching.
Number 6, shoot promos. We'll now look at a selection of standalone work shoot promos.
Dewey Foley is a 3-year-old boy.
You sick sons of bitches! McMahon didn't want someone like The Undertaker representing the World Wrestling Federation. So when you walked down that aisle last week, people at home, all they did was grab their remote, change the channel to WWF, and watch Stone Cold, a person
You and your old friends got fired from here!
When I was out hurt, you stupid bastard, you lying coward, what did you do? You did everything you could do to get inside my girl's head and inside her pants.
Yeah. You were running around backstage talking about this Vanilla Ice wannabe named John Cena, said he couldn't make it.
Each of which saw wrestlers peel back the curtain to blur the lines between reality and fiction.
WCW was nothing but a bunch of guys pushing their sons. If you didn't have a dad in the business, you couldn't even get an opportunity.
I left the World Wrestling Federation for gimmicks like this. My new name is Seven, by the way, so they've dressed me up like Uncle Fester. And they...
Yeah, that fucking sucks, bro. I feel like Seven would have been a terrific gimmick, bro. But WCW fumbled the bag. But anyway, you guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.